This is the video number 2 of my JavaScript game development tutorial series. We were creating a paddle game in which we had to catch the fruits, if you had seen in the part 1 of the video. So in the last tutorial we had created these balls to fall at random positions from the sky. So in this tutorial we'll be creating the paddle. So let's begin. So for creating paddle, I'll create one more class named paddles. In the class, it will contain 3 basic functions, that's the constructor, draw and update. In the update, we'll start with a line of calling up the draw function that we had just created. So it would be called like this .draw. In the constructor, we'll demand for the x position, the y position, its width and height, cause it's gonna be a rectangle. Say this .x equals to x, this .y equals to y, this .width equals to width, and this .height equals to height. Now we are done with the constructor. In the draw function, we'll say c.fillStyle to colorize the paddle, and let's say the fill style to be purple. Now to draw the paddle, we will say c.fillRect to create a rectangle. Its x position would be this .x, y position this .y, width this .width, and height this .height. Now we can create our paddle. So for creating the paddle, we'll have to create 3 different paddles to make it look beautiful and to get a more effective way. Let me open the file. It's taking some time to open. So to create the paddle, we'll have to create 3 individual parts for that. It would be the decoration 1, that I'm hovering over from the mouse. This is the bottom part and this is the decoration 2. So for that I'll just switch. I'll close this window. And for that I'll just start with creating a empty array and name it paddles. Right before the paddles class, I'll create one more paddles.push, as I'll be pushing the bottom part first, and for the bottom part its x position and y position would be solved. So what would be its x position? Its x position should be canvas.width divided by 2 minus 200 divided by 2, and 200 here will be the width that will be given to the bottom paddle. Its y will be canvas.height minus 30, and 30 here is the height of the paddle, subtracting 10, that would be the extra spacing from the paddle and the ground. Its width, as we have written in the x positioning, we'll say it to be 100. Its height, as we had said in the y position, it would be 30. So now to see it on the screen, we'll not see anything at the moment, and that's because we are not calling its update. So here we'll just copy paste the balls for each, and we'll say for each paddle paddle.update. And now if we run, we'll be seeing a paddle. So now we'll be creating the decoration number 1. So to create that, I'll just copy paste the line. Its exposition would be the same as paddles 01. That would be the first one, because in the array the numbers, the IDs that are given to the each and every substance that is stored in the array is given in whole numbers, not in natural. So it will start with 0 1 2 3 4, not like 1 2 3 4. So here paddles, I want 01.x. Well, we could have directly written here like canvas width divided by 2 minus 200 divided by 2, but that wouldn't have worked, cause you see in the future we'll be facing a bug that can be fixed with this formula only. Its y will be same as paddles 01.y minus 30, cause 30 here is going to be the height of this decoration. Its width, let's say 20. Refresh the page, and yes, we have the first decoration here. Copy paste. Its y should be equal to paddle number 0.y, and we'll add paddles number zeros width also to it, and subtract the paddle we are creating, that's the decoration 2's width, that's 20. Refresh the page, and we have the decoration number 2 also here. So now what we want to do is that we want to make it move, and for that we'll here at the bottom add an event listener. And here it will be a key down event, because we want to check that if the user is pressing a key like left arrow key or right arrow key. And here in the function we'll demand for event, which will give us the information about which key is pressed. All for now. Console log event. So if I open the developers tool window, maybe I should open it from here. Come on, open. Okay, so it has opened. Reload the page, and if I press the left arrow key, I'm getting this information about the key which I have pressed. So here if I see the key, so the key is arrow left, so this is the name given to the key that I have just pressed, that's the left arrow key. And if I press the right arrow key, I'll get a comment, a console log for arrow right. So switch back to Visual Studio Code, and here if event.key is equals to arrow left. Now what I want it to do, so for now let's say console.log left. Same for the right. If event.key equals to arrow right, then console.log right. Go back. If I press left, I should get a left notification, but I'm not getting that. So let's see. Oh, so it's a typo, so I have put it double A here, but double A key doesn't exist. So if I press left arrow key, I'm getting left written here. If I press right arrow key, I'll get right written here. But we won't want to console log left and right, we want to make the paddle move here. And for that, on the top I'll create two more vars. It would be left and right. at the bottom, I'll say if arrow dot key equals to arrow left, then say left equals to true, that we are saying it to go left, and if right, say right equals to true. And if we see, we have one more error here. Well, that's not an error, but that's what we call, like, if I'm calling the left equals to true, and if I start moving to left, it won't stop. So for that, I would have to make another event listener. That would be not a key down event. This time it will be a key up event. Key up. So now if I am no longer pressing the key, I want left to be false and right to be false. So moving over to the paddles class, in the update I'll add two if statements, that if we are having the right, then this dot x minus equals, well, it shouldn't be a minus, it should be a plus. So now what I want to add in it, so I'll create one more, this, it will be a this dot speed is equals to 5, so plus equals this dot speed, and if move left, this dot x minus equals this dot speed. Go and refresh the page. If I say to move left, it's moving left, and if I say right, it's moving right. Perfect. So now we have this problem that if I continuously move to left, it doesn't stop. So for that, it's so easy. I would have to add one more if statement for left. So if this dot x turns smaller than 0, I want this dot x to be equal to 0, and if this dot x plus this dot width turns bigger than canvas dot width, I want this dot x plus this dot x is equals to canvas dot width minus this dot width, just like that. Is equals to, yeah. So if I refresh the page, if I start moving to left, I'm still pressing the key, but it stops, the bottom pedal stops, but we have that the upper decorations don't stop until they are at the very end of the screen. And to solve that, that's the problem that I was talking about right here while creating the pedals. So the problem is that each and every of the pedal parts, including the decoration, have their individual left and right movements. And for the solution to that, I'll say pedals, first one, that's the decoration one, dot x is equals to pedals 01 dot x, and same for pedals 2, that's the decoration 2 dot x equals pedals the 01 dot x. तो आके मैं वीडियो बना रहा होता सीधा आके धम धमा धम 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 धमा धम धम धम. So now this dot pedal 0 dot x adding pedal 0 dot width as we have written above, subtracting 20 from it. So now if I go and refresh the page, Yeah, we have solved that problem. So now let's come down here, and you see, if I go in the set interval in which we are creating the balls, I say console.log the balls, press the page. As it creates the ball, the number increases each time. Even if the ball has gone downwards from the screen, that stays there in the balls array. So what I want is that it gets deleted after it's below the screen. So for that, it's quite a method that I use, and for that, what I'll do is that with the balls I'll also demand for the index, and with the index, what I'll be doing with the index is that I'll say if ball dot y plus ball dot radius turns bigger than canvas dot height, then what I wanted to do is that balls splice, not that, balls dot splice index comma 1 and the splice, I'll wrap that in a set timeout function and set that time to be equal to 0. Okay, so now refresh the page. When the ball comes down, it gets deleted. So let's say that if its x position plus its radius turns bigger than the bottom pedal's y, then delete. Seems better. So what to do in next? Well, I think that's all for this tutorial. You'll get the further updates in the next tutorial. Okay. Please like and subscribe to get any further updates about this series or anything else that we'll be creating in the future. See you later. Okay.